All right, welcome to the world premiere of original musical, Athena's Island. Yeah. We'd like to thank you for being out here. Tell your friends, come tomorrow. This is actually the first time we're playing it all the way through, and it's going to be fun. Hey, let's make it happen. Oh, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important announcement. In a moment, the doctor will take the stage, and we appreciate you coming together by Zoom on such short notice. We know that you are all brilliant people, some of whom don't get along. Nonetheless, we are going to need to give the doctor your undivided attention. And please, turn off your cell phones, as nothing can leave this room. We have a virus to kill.
One, two, three, four.
I sing of times that are troubled, and I look to you with hat in hand. I think that we gotta make the world understand. Some will say that we are crazy, and others won't even comprehend. But the science we are making's not about making friends. It's about saving lives. We fought for patents, stakes in the claim, piles of money, medals, prizes, fame. But in our business, people, it's nature. That's the game. Finding answers to the questions that plague us just the same. Yesterday, I had to get my son from Fresno, stuck outside a school event. They had to cancel the big robotics tournament. We realized the gravitas along the 99 going into quarantine. We gotta see the warning signs and figure out what they mean. Let's set up testing for this menacing disease. Coronavirus can't bring us to our knees. Join up, form bonds, we've got to create teams. Some for testing and some to make vaccines. We fought for patents, stakes in the claim, piles of money, medals, prizes, fame. But in our business, people, it's nature. That's the game. Finding answers to the questions that plague us just the same. We work together round the clock until the job gets done. And call this Project Athena. For wisdom, she's the one.
All right, welcome. The Dr. Shri is referring to is Dr. Jennifer Doudna, played by Madison Schoening. All right. Dr. Doudna is a real person. Yes, she knows about this show, and she developed, along with Emmanuelle Charpentier, CRISPR, which is maybe working inside of you right now if you got vaccinated. Let's hear it for vaccines. Woo! All right. So this is the story of her life, but also the story of those who came before her, most notably Rosalind Franklin. If you don't know that name, you should, because she helped develop DNA. She's actually the one that took the picture. And that's going to be the subject of this next epic, The Rat Race.
King's College, London, 1951.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go into the know of something new. A time to change the world and see the inner truth? Will they think that what we did was ultimately wrong when we uncover what was there all along? We'll find the shape and make a map of all these building blocks of life. The DNA, you see, we have to find the code inside of you and me. We believe in the rat race, 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 the rat race. It started here, 1951 in London town, with Maurice Wilkins, who knew how to keep a woman down. There was a battle as he met his female protege, young Rosalind Franklin, who had so much more to say and to X-ray.
I want to fit right in and start my new career. I need to know the shape, make DNA so clear. That way we could discover all that life's about and cure this world of things I just can't talk about.
And to me, Sir Francis Crick, I'm a scientist, you see. I don't hold back, I want to find the secrets of discovery. Can't you see? But I need someone who's strong and has my back. I need to be a part of this team. Without the others, it's just me.
1, 2, 3. That's me, James Watson from Chicago, don't you know? I started college at 15, and now there's lots of things I know about the viruses that overtake our cells. I'm problematic, static, tragic in many of my views. I speak my mind and find I'm always giving everyone the blues.
We get such a bad rap for being thieves. But if you study our history, there's more there to see. We simply jump the gun on the data Rosalind found. Who us keep a woman down? She's the one always wearing a cold frown. In the rat race, we were determined to win the crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men of science.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The rat race, 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 the rat race.
Rat race. Okay, so Rosalind had to work with these guys, Crick and Watkins and Watson, and it was tough working in that environment, and she ultimately lost her life to cancer due to the research that she did. But her legacy and her inspiration to Dr. Doudna are very real. So she's kind of like a ghost in this, looking over. And Taylor Lee is going to play her here in this beautiful song called Man's Game. Let's hear it for Taylor. Got to switch instruments. Takes a minute.
I don't like how they treat me. Men so worried about my makeup. I'll have to shake up the lab they think is theirs. Without me, they'll never find the shape of DNA. But will it matter? Oh, they'll take credit for my work without my name. I'm getting tired of always playing by the rules in a man's game. How absurd to be obscured, cast aside in my casualness. To capture the double helix, I'll have to take the risk. Expose myself to radiation, make the DNA revelation. Will anyone care? Oh, they'll take credit for my work without my name. I'm oh so tired of always playing by the rules in a man's game. This teacher's lounge is so much better. Like I'm candy. If I could travel ahead in time and meet a woman with the eyes for science like mine. If on the verge she needed encouragement, someone to remind her that she could do it, I would tell her to wear the suits to do the trials and to stand resolute. I'll watch over her so she'll feel safe if she beats them at the wrong game. I will tell her that this world of science will no longer be just a men's game.
All right, let's hear for Taylor Lee one more time. Great job.
We now travel to Washington, D.C., 1971, where the scene shifts to a cluttered bedroom in a studio apartment. It's clearly humid as Martin and his wife, Dorothy, fan themselves. Dorothy sits on the bed reading while the young man stands at a desk that's covered in papers. A typewriter and cups of coffee and clutter denote trails without tribulation. A 7-year-old Jennifer sits downstage with her sister as they play with a giant fall leaf, while her parents Martin and Dorothy discuss the 55 letters Martin has submitted to universities as he looks for a professorship.
I'm worried. Honey, maybe there's a typo on my resume. Something that there's the reason I'm not getting any of these offers. Honey, 54 letters to universities and not one response. No leads, no bites. All of this grad school, all those novels, essays, for what?
Shh. Let's not worry the kids. Besides, you will get a job eventually. Heck, you can always teach high school.
I guess. But I'm a PhD. Oh, well. This is what I want to do. Wait.
He pauses at a letter in a manila envelope.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here it is, the last of the replies. I want to open it, but I can't, not with these eyes. I'm nervous, but I want to try. I've studied Homer and the American romantics, fallen for Austen, love Walt Whitman's antics. To read this one letter is more than I can bear. I want to be a professor, but where? This one must be from the islands, a place where I've never been, so far from anywhere, a place where I can begin again. But is it okay for you and the girls? What will you do? Make new friends, chase the wild highland squirrels.
They'll do what I do, adapt to any world they can think of. They are girls, I'm Penelope, and they have our love. I'll teach you and explore this new place, be it Boston or Utah or the space between you and me. I'll open it then, it'll tell us what we're gonna do. Remember what Rumi said, the entire universe is inside of you.
Okay then, if it's a no, we'll keep trying. We'll find some place to go. "55 letters and there's just one left. This one's all that matters. Let us fall in love
Okay, I know this love is all that matters.
One place
One
in the
space for
world,
a girl,
one fine
no
little
moment's
test.
rest.
Go ahead
Here I
and
go,
open it, and we'll deal
opening the sea.
with the hand we steal. I'll tell the
Why
girls
so far
we'll have to get
for
all
us to
new
move to?
clothes. I
But the
don't
beauty
need
of
much
nature
to my
there
name.
will make the
Our world
girls
will never
more
be the
aware.
same.
I love you.
All right. Ben Garcia and Anne-Marie Montani, one of our faculty members. Let's give it up. Woo! All right, so Martin Doudna, Jennifer's dad, he gets the job, the 55th job he applied for, as a professor in Hilo, Hawaii in the 1970s. If you've ever been to Hilo, you know how rustic it is. Well, imagine it in the 70s. And imagine being a tall, lanky, blonde-haired girl like Jennifer. There's a picture in the playbill, which you can upload on your phone. There's totally paperless here. But you can see that photo of when she was a little girl. But before she got there, they got to fly to Hawaii in the 70s. So imagine Hawaiian Air. They're not just going to travel there, they're going to live there. So this one's called Island Thing.
The family gets suitcases and they quickly walk towards their airport gate. And the family emerges wearing leis as they're greeted by friendly Hawaiians.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aloha is a spirit. We bring you here today. Just call it an island thing. From our hearts to your hearts, it's time to make a brand new start. Just call it an island thing. Just call it an island thing. Welcome to this paradise. Nature's glory recognize. Just what will these howlays do? Welcome to Hilo's open arms. The weather here is always warm, and here is a song for you. We give out our song to you.
Oko ke hahi molo ke hahi wahi. Kapahi no ke ano ke kuali. Oho ana ino kahopana. Ye ko kalini nui wai keia ia he huaka makeia ine uhilo I ke oha ke aloha oha me nana e kuei just call it an islanding. Let's call it an island thing. Let's call it an island thing. Let's call it an island thing. And I actually came up with that song thanks to my son Danny, who's here tonight. We were in Hawaii body surfing. And we just made up a song, the island ting, and then before you know it, it became a song. So you never know when a song is in the works. And the Hawaiian in there is actual Hawaiian, thanks to my friend Donna Huno, the facilities guy at San Mateo, whose niece is a professor of Hawaiian, and it's all about the origin of Hilo, Hawaii, which is named for a knot of rope, believe it or not, pulling the islands as a chain. And so when you think about the rope and you think about the double helix, makes you think. So the double helix is everywhere.
All right, we now are set in Hilo, Hawaii, 1973, where a 9-year-old Jennifer sits on the floor of the living room that's adjacent to her kitchen. We can see that she's reading the book Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. It's the Doudna homes, 70s-style wood paneling. Mom is making lunch, and the two wear Hawaiian comfort clothing.
I like this book, but the girls seem a bit silly. Did kids talk like that back then?
I bet they did. And they did all of their chores or got whipped.
Is Concord, Massachusetts still like that now, with all those authors' homes all together? Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, Louisa May Alcott, and Longfellow?
Yes, they are all close together, and you can visit them. Maybe someday we can go there and see them all those places, and Walden Pond.
Dad says Walden Pond is so close to the town that it's just a short walk, less than 2 miles away. That's silly since Henry David Thoreau said that he was living way out in nature and all, but was he lying? Did he really stick up for the slaves too by refusing to pay taxes, or was he lying about that too?
Meanwhile, we see Jennifer's dad quietly walk in smiling. Dorothy sees him and smiles back. But he's sneaking in to surprise Athena. And he does. She squeals with glee as he interrupts her question by talking in a mid-Atlantic accent.
Truth strikes us from behind and in the dark, as well as from before and in the broad daylight.
Oh, Dad, you scared me.
It's okay. This is the way you'll be ready for anything.
He comes to the table and kisses Dorothy, grabs a piece of pineapple that's cut and ready for dinner.
Jennifer, I got you something on my trip to Nashville.
What is it?
It's Athena. Oh, and a book.
Oh, Dad, she's so cool and so small.
She may be small, but in Nashville, she's 42 feet tall.
Wow, that's really big.
Oh, she's the goddess of wisdom, of course. She's big. She was built there for a state centennial in 1897. She's holding a small statue of Nike, which represents victory. She's got a spear with a snake at her feet, and the beautiful shield of Perseus using to fight off Medusa.
That's a lot of stuff.
She's got a lot of weapons. She gives them to heroes to use. Lots of guys. Perseus, Odysseus would be nothing without her.
I want to be like her.
No doubt you will. You already are.
He munches on pineapple and then turns to bring his suitcase into the other room. Jennifer calls out to him about the book he's also left on the table.
Dad, what's this? Double helix. I wonder what that is.
The music shifts as she reads. Projections behind and around her indicate science formulas, images of chemical reactions, and atom structures. Music and the voice of Watson surround her. She eventually falls asleep and into a dream.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Poetry of science speaks to me, talks to me, makes me see. The poetry of science is all around in the sounds of the waves I hear. My dad is a professor here in town, gives me books, I drink them down. History and music, chemistry, biology, so many things. I can see nature all around. I want to know just what it's all about. Here in this cave, I see wonder, I smell life and turn a page. Reading this, holding that, there's got to be more, there is no going back. I know it's here, a sense of wonder and excitement and of fear. The poetry of science speaks to me, talks to me, makes me see. The poetry of science is all around in the sounds of the waves I hear. Here in this place, an island filled with beauty and with grace. But maybe I could go somewhere I could find out all I need to know. But for now, I'll go within, stay so quiet, so blonde, too tall and thin. The poetry of science speaks to me, talks to me, makes me see. The poetry of science is all around in the sounds of the waves I hear.
We now see Athena growing up, walking through various scenes, being teased, sitting in class, doodling, being laughed at, pointed at. She now is a teenager, less awkward, hair no longer in pigtails, wearing a gown. She encounters a boy.
I noticed that you were reading a book about science.
Yeah, I am.
I think that's pretty hot.
Just pretty hot? Do you even know what this book is about?
Smoking weed?
No, it's not about smoking weed. It's about the environment and how we're basically screwed unless we do something about what we're doing to this planet.
Is it really that bad?
Well, yeah, if we don't do anything about it, sure.
I think I want to be a lawyer. Land rights around here are pretty corrupt. My uncle is fighting some developers. That seems cool to me.
Well, it's good to have a cause. You should do it. I have class.
I don't get it. She's unlike anyone I've ever met before. So smart, so direct. Her mind is like an open door, telling me that there's so much more that I need to look for. She's intense, more than anyone I've ever met. Like James Dean with a cigarette, she's so confident. Like fire underneath the sea, pushing me to find the key. Just like a volcano.
Yes, I know her, so I'm not surprised. I can see it in her eyes that she worries, and for her I worry too. Beyond this island the world is cruel, but you'll never be a fool making her own rules, just like a volcano.
Don't worry, baby, she's your girl through and through. And when the time comes, she'll know just what to do. We taught her so well to think strongly and for herself. She's so much more than her books stuck on the shelf.
She'll collaborate and make others around her great. Beneath this tectonic plate, there is so much more. There's so much more beyond this island shore, brewing underneath this ocean floor. Just like a volcano.
Precious building up, like a volcano. You just can't get enough. This place we call our home, like a volcano. The science of the genome. To explode like a volcano. Story never told like a volcano. So the story's brewing. As we move into Jennifer's inspiration, the book Double Helix.
We now see Athena. She's in a lab coat, wearing goggles and gloves like a typical science nerd, and stares into a test beaker. Projections denote some sort of molecular sequence around her. She puts down the beaker and takes off her goggles and gloves as she emerges from where she stands.
Watson's book, the one my father gave me, the Double Helix, changed my life. This book, I thought at first was a detective novel, opened me up to an unseen world of wonder inside of our cells. Rosalind Franklin's work to uncover the structure of this DNA spoke to me. In the codes of the DNA was a secret language that built proteins that help us break down our food into energy, to sense light, or even to fight viruses. Maybe this double helix could explain the humble plant I found around Hilo that responds to touch by drooping. I could stay in Hilo. I could go to college here. But I decided to study chemistry at Cal State Pomona. I wanted to know more about nature. Living my life in the double helix and all that it tells me. Knowing there's more living in the middle, the center of all things. 'Cause when I stop and think about you and all the life that lies within you, there's nothing else for me left to do but try to find my way right back through to you. Walking away from this island, living so far from Hawaii. I have to find what the story tells me and how it involves me. 'Cause when I look at things around me, I see there's so much more beyond this sea. I know just what I want to be, and here's what nature's telling me. There's you. It's a mystery what life will bring, but I know there's so much more in these pages. There are tales like whales singing songs beyond the shores. I want to hear their story, travel across the sea, discover golden glory, and you. Sailing away now to California, I know what I'll study. I'll read the signs of the chain reactions and the codes of the body. And when they tell me I'm not there yet, I'll tell them that I have no regrets. I'll gather up my confidence to pass even the toughest test for you. It's so clear to me that life can mean so much more beyond this door. Let me find my dream, discovering the things I know I can explore. I want to know the chemistry alive inside of you and me, to see what Rosalind could see. It's you. There's no denying the double helix and all that it tells me. I'll meet the men who made this science famous, and one day they'll know me. I need to know the secrets to understand that double helix and work to find the many treatments. The answer's right here in the sequence. It's true. There's no denying the double helix and all that it tells me.
All right, let's hear it from Madison. All right.
Now that she's decided to study science in California, we move to fall 1981 in Pomona, California, her freshman year.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
An era of rock and fun. We've got something for everyone. North of LA, we know just how to play. We're baby oil in the sun. Reagan was shocked, but we want to smoke some pot and study a little bit. We got MTV and something called HIV, but there's no way it can get me.
I'm gonna get that ring. I'll get a wedding ring and I'll never be allowed to sing.
My name is Dean, and baseball is my thing. I'll be buying this girl a ring. Pro Bowl won't out, but I'll have a job, no doubt, 'cause my dad gives me everything.
It's 1981, an era of rock and fun. We've got something for everyone. North of LA, we know just how to play. We're baby oil in the sun.
I'm a rich girl and I live in LA. My car is a drop-top cabriolet. I drive home each weekend to see Dad and Mom. Look at that hot guy. Is that Tom?
Here I was, Cal Poly Pomona, majoring in chemistry. Most of the kids had cars and drove home on the weekends to LA or to Santa Barbara, but me, I stayed home and only got to call my parents once a month. Collect. Things were hard. Maybe I should switch majors. All these other kids just go to Ragers. I talked to my French professor. She said no, that chemistry was my destiny. This I should know. People believed in me. Let the record show. My next year was easier and I loved the lab. I wanted Harvard for grad school, so I told my dad. He said, go for it, like he always did, but I doubted myself. And it was expensive. Then in my junior year, I broke through the wall, treated like an equal, allowed to make the calls, taking chances, allowed to fail. The science, oh how it dances, like I knew it could do.
We leave this college and we're replaced by students in more wintry clothes. Sign indicating Harvard University is projected as Watson in a tweed jacket emerges.
Harvard is the benchmark in the critical space, where learning and research are well in place. I hear some hotshots are joining our program. Some girl named Doudna has got some sort of plan. She's a Cal Poly grad and making her ways. I hope she can handle herself. Harvard's a beast. And what's this with RNA? Has she gone insane?
I'm Robert Coulter, and I study bacteria. I've got researchers here from Spain and Latin America. Jennifer's been inspired by our lab's diversity. When it comes to research, we like to make things spicy. Improvisation and trusting our instincts, letting scientists take chances. That is our thing.
It's 1987, and I'm Jack Sotzak. I supervised Doudna as DNA got big. The Human Genome Project began to explode with scientists like Collins and Craig Venter. Go Vikings! Working to encode the entire sequence of DNA. But I had a feeling something else was coming. I had a hunch that DNA might not be the thing to change everything. What about RNA? Could it clone itself? Maybe it could be the secret to human life. Why do the research everyone else was doing?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Take a chance, just as in sports or in romance, or in choosing to leave Hilo. I had to do something new, create an RNA enzyme, something bold to pursue. At age 23, I would meet James Watson. He called me Miss Doudna. He knows who I am.
At Harvard, Jennifer Athena found herself becoming more interested in RNA. This research pulled her west to Colorado, where she met me, Jamie Kate. Her husband, I fell in love with Athena in Colorado and wanted to join her at Yale. They made me take my qualifying exams again, but I aced them, and I got a job at Yale too. I'm hanging with Athena. Do you honestly think I wouldn't pass those tests with flying colors? Jennifer, aka Athena, and I use X-rays to explore RNA. Much like how Rosalind Franklin used X-rays to find the double helix of DNA, I use a molecule that helped us see RNA better, and we made a life together. But in 1995, we learned that Jennifer's dad was sick with cancer, melanoma, and it had metastasized and was now in his brain. He had just months to live. Athena had to be a warrior again, and this time to support and learn from her dad. She traveled back and forth from Yale to Hilo.
The set is a bedroom and desk in a cluttered room, rife with books, papers, and medicines. Jennifer sits in a chair next to her sick father. He's in bed, but is sitting up, eager to learn and to share ideas with his daughter.
I'm so very proud of who you are. Have you crossed the ocean from so far to teach me? To teach me. I who once thought you the words to use have become your student. You're my muse. I am honored They say a father's firstborn's a son. She can box and throw and hit and run. But you're more than boy or girl. You're the best of both worlds. Something in between, something complete. You're the reason my life's so sweet. And I hate to leave you here, but I'm smiling on you. You're my rainbow. It's so good to know. I don't want to go, but I need you to remember. I want you to explain this to me, the science you see so clearly, and in doing so better, know how to teach it to the world. There's one thing I have to learn, is clarity is everything, and your science will change the world. I know this true. I'll be there for you in the sky so blue. I'll look down to you. You'll know love is true. You're my rainbow. It's so good to know. Yes, I love you, but I've got to go. You're my rainbow, it's good to know. I love you, you got to know that I'll see you again.
And just like that, he was gone. My dad, a frail shell of a man whose soul was larger than a constellation. We would take his ashes to Waipio Bay. It was a very windy day. There, as the sun crept through the clouds and the breeze flapped our clothing, we cast him up and away. Just then, an oi, a Hawaiian hawk, could be seen overhead, soaring, rare, majestic. It was you, Dad. You're with me always. And when I doubt what I can do, I just think of you. Soon after Dad died, Jamie and I were able to find the shape of RNA and how we could eventually make it an enzyme that could edit genes. Jamie and I got married in 2000, and we had a baby boy, Andy. He looks a little like my dad. In 2002, Jamie and I both got jobs at UC Berkeley. Go Bears! Here was a chance to teach at a public university and to meet some interesting people.
All right, let's go to Berkeley. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We got so much more to say. There's no other place so right for ideas to strike and to make our way. Green trees, you know what we mean, and the sunshine warms us on most days. Climb the hills and you will see why we can't live any other way.
Diversity, it sets the tone, so I know that I'm not alone. Dogs and walks and coffee shops, you might even meet mates to smoke one day. Record stores and open doors, home prices soar. We want the open days to stay. We've got a lot of stuff to eat, avoiding meat. We like to keep it green all day.
Living here in Berkeley, CA, we have so much
us crazy socialists. We win wars without our fears. We're gonna help the poor someday. Standing up for women's rights. Black Lives Matter, alright. We're gonna win this fight.
And as if that's not enough, we tough, we got the free speech movement cafe. Chest beneath and a naked run. We the ones to have some fun. For Nobel Prizes, we're the one.
Living here in Berkeley, CA, we have so much more to say. There's no other place so right for ideas to strike and to make our way. Living here in Berkeley, CA, we have so much more to say.
Put your hands together.
There's no other place so right for ideas to strike and to make our way. Living here in Berkeley, CA, we have so much more to say. There's no other place so right for ideas to strike and to make our way. Living here in Living here in Berkeley, CA, we have so much more to say. There's no other place so right for ideas to strike and to make our way. Living here.
Right. Featuring my brother Johnny Bravo on guitars.
Jennifer and Jamie found their home in Berkeley, and soon our Athena would learn of the technology she would come to advance. But there were others on the verge, watching, listening, competing. This is the Bay Area, after all. People box on the street over a new home listing. Enter Feng Zhang and the boys from Harvard. They were also working on a way to make snippets of RNA cut through and change DNA. The race was on. How to change a gene, not just in yogurt, but in a person, with the use of enzymes.
I was born near Beijing, in what's considered a small town where I'm from. Just 4.3 million people. Now that's a lot of dim sum. My mom taught computer science and my dad was a university admin. They taught me how to win. Mom visited the USA and knew we had to stay to make our way. She taught me respect and discipline, took me to computer camp. That and the movie Jurassic Park were my ramp into genetics and biochemistry. I climbed a mountain, but I'm still climbing.
To see everybody.
So much more to be, so much opportunity. It all started with an experiment, making cells fluorescent. And then I watched a close friend battle mental illness, consider ending his life. I had to find a way to make it stop, make everything alright. I'm George Church, also a Harvard man, although the unconventional type. I once taught Athena and now Feng Zhang, but things are not alright. I feel that he stole some of my research, taking credit for it. I'm a woolly mammoth loving vegan, not so competitive. I climbed a mountain, but I'm still climbing. And there's so much left to see. So much more to be, so much opportunity.
I'm Eric Lender, and I teach at the Broden Institute at Harvard. It's where all these people study the code. They need to respect our legacy. At Harvard, it's everything. We'll win the race east versus west. Have you ever been to Berkeley? It's a mess.
Not so fast, listen to me. I'm Emmanuelle and big things are happening. It's time for us women to take a stand and decode this genome, this magic strand. I'll soon meet Athena, and to fame we will rise, developing science for Nobel Prize. The battle is on, the lines have been drawn. It's east versus west, 6 paces at dawn.
I climbed a mountain, but I'm still climbing. And there's so much left to see. So much more to be, so much opportunity. This mountain, we're still climbing. There is so much left to see. So much more to be, so much opportunity. One last mountain, but we're still climbing. There's so much left to see. So much more to be, so much opportunity.
We'll be back after a little 10-minute intermission. Go buy some food. We'll be right back. All right, this is about a 30-minute act 2. We hope to get you out of here and thinking about DNA and RNA. Here we go.
All right, the setting is the Free Speech Movement Cafe in the undergrad library lobby of UC Berkeley. Flashcards and hanging cads on flyers are pinned to a corkboard. The sound of espresso machines, bean grinding, milk foaming, and the familiar tap of discarded grounds fill the air as Jennifer, a.k.a. Athena, walks in and introduces herself to a professor dressed in a hippie-ish attire. Dr. Gillian Banfield, the Australian microbiologist, who would introduce Dr. Doudna to the wonderful world of CRISPR.
You must be Dr. Doudna.
Yes, and you must be Dr. Danfield.
Well, to some, call me Gillian. Thanks for meeting me for tea. This cafe is right between our offices. Who would have known that the leading scientists on RNA were just down from the campanile from me?
Tell me more about this CRISPR. I'm fascinated.
Well, I've been seeing bacteria doing some amazing things. The DNA sequences changing, adapting. I couldn't understand these CRISPR sequences, CRISPR being the clustered, regularly interspaced...
Short palindromic repeats.
Yes, it's like this. This repeating sequences isn't surprising. It's the precision of it, the perfection.
Why do you think these exist? What purpose does nature have up her sleeve?
I don't know. Maybe simply to adapt quickly to any change the cell has to make in any given moment.
Changes at any given moment. At any given moment. Do you realize what this means? Nature must be using this CRISPR, the chain, to adapt and to respond to challenges, say viruses. I heard of a Spanish scientist, Mojica, finding sequences in different species of microorganisms, but those things lack nuclei. But this could mean that cells...
This article by a team at the National Institute of Health, it's inconclusive, but it suggests that RNA was a key ingredient in this. It's why I Googled you.
Can you believe what this could mean for science? These mysteries of life, how bacteria have been able to adapt, to survive. It's so fascinating. We can remember that this moment happened here at this cafe that honors people like Mario Savio, people unafraid to share their ideas with the world.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
Free Speech Movement Cafe. Free Speech Movement Cafe.
Free Speech Movement Cafe.
Free Speech Movement Cafe. It happened here one blustery day. I just called you on the phone to say that I thought you might be the one to know what this means. Why not in this place? Why not now? Our destiny is what we allow. We were born to meet today and to change the world.
Just like Mario Savio did in 1961. Let's make some noise, let's raise our voice, let's have some fun. Here at the
Free Speech Movement Cafe. Free Speech Movement Cafe.
people adapt to change just like RNA. We see opportunity. It must be in our genes. No pun can ever take that away. I'll get a team together. I just have to find out one more right away. It's a nature of discovery. There's so much more to do, but I'll do it anyway. Let's make some noise, let's raise our voice, let's have some fun today. Here at the
Free Speech Movement Cafe. 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 Free Speech Movement Cafe.
That really happened.
I'm Rachel Horowitz, and where I fit into this story, like a protein into a strand of DNA, okay, maybe not, is that I was working on a protein called Cas6 with Dr. Doudna in Berkeley. In my final year in her lab, she asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, run a biotech company. Well, I got my PhD, and Dr. Doudna and I started our own company called Carabao. We sought out to make CRISPR work to discover viruses. Being women, we had a hard time getting funding for our venture. Thanks to Berkeley, we got some help and advice, and the marriage of public education and private enterprise showed us that our schools could do what was right to support research, while realistically also supporting business. Heck, why lose us to corporations? Anyway, we got some more funding from the Gates Foundation, and we were off to develop detention systems for hepatitis C, HIV, and even for coronaviruses. In the spring, Dr. D took some time to attend a conference in Puerto Rico where another connection would change the world.
Jennifer, aka Athena, walks into a coffee shop where Emmanuelle Charpentier sits, drinking espresso and reading a scientific journal. The Dutch scientist John van der Oost points out Dr. Charpentier, who is well-dressed and cool, just sitting in the cafe.
Dr. Charpentier, sorry to interrupt you, but I've read your paper in Nature. I'm Jennifer Doudna from Berkeley.
Pleasure to meet you.
Until your paper, I didn't know that
there was more than just one molecule in CRISPR pathways. This is thrilling because now we can think of CRISPR RNAs as potential Swiss Army knives to fight viruses.
Yet again, Dr. Doudna would find herself in a chance meeting with another great mind. In a serendipitous moment in which women in biochemistry collaborate to make something big.
A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
This friendship's something big, something meant to be. Bigger than the group of us, like Thelma and Louise. Let's put our heads together and put our egos aside. Combining disciplines like science and design.
We girls gotta stick together, make science priority. Not obsessed on competition, so everyone can see.
We're making something big, something for all to see. We're making something big, bigger than you and me. You know that we can work together from far across the sea. Making science on our terms with no apology. Take a note and watch us conquer like Marie Curie. This is a brand new time for gender equality. We're making something big, something for all to see. We're making something big, bigger than you and me. We're making something big, something for all to see. We're making something big, bigger than you and me.
All right, let's hear it for the Power Trio.
All right. As Dr. Doudna's attorney with a bachelor's degree in biology, I was excited to learn about CRISPR-Cas9, the idea of a protein that could cut DNA and insert a new sequence. The implications for science and the human race were limitless, but the race for this biotechnology had just begun. While Dr. Doudna was working with the effective Cas9 protein, Feng Zhang was experimenting with multiple proteins, trying to find the one that would work in human cells. Feng read the 2013 paper by Doudna on the subject and rushed to make it a footnote in his own study. Harvard versus Berkeley. East Coast versus West Coast. It became like a rap battle. Dr. D found herself having to pal up to the boys in Boston to try and make this science benefit all of them. But we all know that by now, science is a man's game. This had to change, and the West Coast needed to get some respect.
This research has to get done. I know that I'm the one to do it. I'll get my paper out. There will be no shadow of doubt.
This race is wearing me down. Feel like I'm always flying back and forth from Berkeley to Boston. I'm getting lost in this.
I don't know what's gotten into Feng. It's like he's taking my work. I need to publish what is mine and do it in the nick of time.
I'll write an essay called The Heroes of CRISPR and put Harvard in the lead. I'll give my boy Feng the credit and leave Berkeley in the weeds, in the rat race.
Feng would win a patent for the biotechnology in 2017, and that would be upheld in Jennifer's appeal of 2018. But she hadn't hired me yet. In 2019, I argued for Jennifer and Emmanuelle's patent as applying the CRISPR-Cas9 system for all organisms, as it was designed to do. For plants, for animals, for food, good GMOs. Those exist. In the end, everybody wins, and a lot of people got rich, sharing the patent so that many private companies and universities could use biotechnology to help the human race. But Jennifer was worried about the potential of this science to bring harm to the world. So much so, she had a nightmare.
Do I dare open the door to a world that frightens me? I know someone's there on the other side who wants to meet me. But if I break down and don't stand up to these men who want to use me, will I just be just as bad as them? I must have a plan.
The nightmare Doudna is pulled in different directions and tormented by the horrors of what her science could bring about. Mutations, eugenics, Aryan support. Doudna approaches a door and opens it. Behind the door is a seated figure with his back turned to her. As the music stops, Jennifer asks,
"What do you want from me?"
The figure stays seated, but turns his head suddenly to reveal the face of a pig. He stands and is clearly wearing a Nazi uniform, and the mask has the trademark mustache of Hitler.
I want to learn more about what you have developed.
Jennifer is now in bed. She shakes Jamie awake from beside her.
Jamie, wake up.
What is it, honey?
A nightmare, a terrible nightmare.
What was it?
Hitler, Jamie. It was awful. He wanted to know more about the science we're working on. I'm worried.
Oh, honey, it's gonna be okay.
I know the science can help people, but I also worry that we've created a Frankenstein's monster.
No, you can only control your part. Be a model for good. It's all any of us can be in the face of evil. We can only shine as bright as possible.
I know.
Living our lives in the double helix with all that we can be. You've shown me love and what science brings us, such goodness and beauty. 'Cause when I stop and think about you and all the life that lies within you, there's nothing else for me left to do but try to find my way right back through to you.
Dr. Doudna still wrestles with the issue of bioethics and has been a pioneer in that field. She's a watchdog and wants to protect life and use science only to help others. But ultimately, that may be up to you, as you, the young people of today, become the next wave of thinkers, coders, lawyers, and scientists.
Every morning
We make the chain, the love we share is never in vain. For law and science we cannot contain ourselves. In this life there's no one to blame, and nature survival's the name of the game. And what Athena's making, this world will never be the same. Do you realize that what they've done can truly benefit everyone? Closing gaps of racial disparity, making viruses a rarity. And in the end, it's up to you, just like your mentors taught you to.
You have a responsibility to treat our planet ethically, 'cause every morning we make the change.
The love we share is never in vain. For law and science we cannot contain ourselves. In this life there's no one to blame, and nature's survival is the name of the game. And what Athena's making, this world will never be the same.
Every morning we make the chain. The work we do is never in vain. To save the world, we need to explore ourselves. CRISPR works with RNA to make the changes in our DNA. The implications will help us to save ourselves. This all-important technology is already part of you and me. If you're vaccinated, it's so clear to see you're protected by biology. And in the end, it's up to us to share science and to discuss what genes can do to help us all to face disease and stand tall.
Every morning we make the chain. The love we share is never in vain. Together we'll use science to save ourselves. Every morning we make the chain. The love we share is never in vain. Together we'll use science to save ourselves.
Scene changes as a college-aged Andy, her son, Jennifer and Jamie's son, walks with a backpack and Cal apparel through campus. He meets Mom for lunch at the Free Speech Movement Cafe.
Andy, thanks for taking some time to meet me for lunch. How was environmental science class today?
Good. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci predicted climate change?
No, tell me about it.
So some call him the master of disaster because...
By the fall of 2020, Dr. Doudna was running the IGI in Berkeley and enjoying her teaching and research. Her son was studying engineering at Cal, and the patent race for CRISPR-Cas9 had made the biotechnology available for use in humans. Her work with Emmanuelle wrapped up for now. She focused on work and family.
Okay, so now for our last two songs. Do we have any Cal alumni here tonight? Go Bears. Yeah. All right. Right. Yeah, Jennifer's son was at Cal. And imagine them having lunch at Berkeley. And yeah, things come full circle here. This is called Proud of You.
Building your life in
front of my eyes, see what you will be. Simple and capable, you mean so much to me. Use the things you've learned about to do good in the world, and you'll find your dreams be unfurled. 'Cause wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you, I am proud of you.
DNA became so clear, so wonderful to see. I now look with pride and joy to see what you can be. The science you developed here will change the future world, and suffering for so many people will see their flags unfurled. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
Wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
Closer than you know. In your eyes, there's no surprise. We're joined by one long code. Iron Man, he's saving lives, sharing love about. 'Cause that's the only thing this world's about. Wherever you go and whatever you go, whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
Wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
I'm proud of them.
I was sound asleep when at 3 a.m. on October 9th, 2020, I got a call from Sweden. I was in a hotel in Palo Alto near the other school down there, the farm. It was from Sweden. I was in shock. Emmanuelle and I had won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for our work with CRISPR-Cas9.
Ooh, yeah.
Of the 184 Nobel Prize honorees since 1911, only 5 were women. The first was Marie Curie. We couldn't forget the work of Rosalind Franklin, who also paved the way for women of science and for our work with genetics. There was more work to be done, but that's where you come in. We need more women in science, and we need more of your minds at work with genetics. Ethical genetics that can eradicate diseases.
This is our last song, so we hope you can join in singing with us. Thanks for coming.
If we look to tomorrow with hope and with care, if we study the science, we know all is there, then the future is brighter than how it might seem. We can use our knowledge to develop vaccines. I don't want to be a doubter. I just want to be true. We're on the verge of something new. The mysteries of nature can show us the way. We're on the verge now. We can change.
If we stop and admire all that's within.
If we study with wonder, we know we can win.
When we put our minds together, there's no limit to what we can do.
We look to the future, and that future is you. Oh, I don't want to be a doubter. I just want to be true. Oh, we're on the verge of something new. show us the way. We're on the verge now, we can change.
Put your hands together. Let's hear it for the cast of Athena's Island. Let's hear it for the band. Sweet love, oh my love, oh my love, hallelujah. All right. Let's hear it for them. Time for them to take their bows. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks for coming. Tell all your friends to come tomorrow night. Thank you. We love you, Milbrae.